Hello and welcome to Ninqueso Live episode 10. That is double figures, ladies and gentlemen. We are no longer in those single digits. That means we are here to stay.
Who thought we'd make it this far?
At least for this episode anyway.
Yeah.
And I am joined by my co-host from Death Valley, Miss Bree.
Good evening, bestie. How are you today?
I'm quite good today.
Are you?
I am.
You've got your smiley face on despite not having won a crown yet.
Oh, well, you know, these things will happen. I've got a day to get a crown before season 2 starts, so it's all good.
I'd be disappointed the day you do, because it means I can no longer come into your stream and say, you're rubbish.
Ah, well, I didn't notice you there today telling me I was rubbish.
I was watching, lurking from the sidelines.
Are you a lurker? Yeah,
I am a lurker,
you lurkers are really quiet. It's scary.
What have you been playing this week, bestie?
This week, I have been playing Super Mario 35, which is the free game that Nintendo released, where it's a 35-player Mario game. And it's
awesome.
When I first played it, the first time I played it, I did it on stream, and I was a bit like, meh, by the end of it. But now,
I was there then.
But now I've sort of gone on a little bit, and I've unlocked more. I'm a higher level, so I've unlocked more levels. It's actually not too bad. It's the sort of game I think you just sort of pick up, play for 15-20 minutes, and then put down again for a while. But yeah, it's all right. If you've got Nintendo Online, I would recommend giving it a go, because it's free if you've got Nintendo Online. So why wouldn't you?
What's not to like about free games?
Exactly. I've also been back into Animal Crossing. I've made a little pumpkin patch.
Oh.
And I've got some pumpkins growing now.
Can people visit you in your island?
They can with my dream code, but my dream, I'd imagine I need to update that to have the pumpkin patch there, because the dream code is obviously how your island was when you created it. So I need to update it.
Perhaps you should update that and attach it for when you upload the podcast.
I should, if you want to
visit. And then nice people can come and find you.
Visit my island and all the horrors that sit in towels on there.
It's got a wrestling ring in it, hasn't it?
It has got a wrestling ring in there. And it's got a Fight Club corner as well.
Of course it has.
So what about yourself?
Well, I had a bit of another, and this is a discussion that I need to have with you, because for a couple of weeks now, you've said spell break, meh, it's okay. And I've said, I think it could be all right. And this week I've done a 180 in that I quit spell break, because I'm bored with it already. I literally have put less than 10 hours in, and I am like done. I'm over it, because it just seems like there's nowhere to go. But you said this is just a taster, and you thought it might.
This is like any of these sort of games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, PUBG. This is still kind of like the first season. It's not even the first season. It's an early access. So I think it's got potential if they grow it properly. But as it is at the moment, it is pretty boring, because everywhere seems the same. There's only a couple of areas on the map that are anyway different. Like you've got the little sandy bit near the top with the houses in. But I think you need more buildings in there that you can go in.
Yes.
You need to be able to destroy, like, all the structures on the map. They're all already derelicts, aren't they?
Yes.
It'd be nice if, like, when you hit with a fire blast, you could actually destroy the walls and things. I think that'd give it more life.
It's a very set landscape that doesn't. It's not particularly interactive. So I'm not. I was not impressed once I got a bit into it. I was like, this has got nowhere to go for me. I'm over it already.
But if they update the map and just tweak things a little bit, I think it could be okay. But it's a hard genre to get into, because like the type of game it is, people are already playing things like Fortnite, PUBG, and those sort of people don't really go anywhere else. They're like, this is my game.
Yeah. So the other thing that I've tried a bit of is the Warhammer that's on Game Pass this month, which is in conjunction with Games Workshop. So it's actually very, very nice. I did put a couple of hours into that. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's mostly a beat 'em up, but you know me, extreme violence is my kind of thing. And you can literally just bash the corpses to death after death. So I liked it.
So
I liked it.
They die and you just stand over them and you keep hitting them with the big warhammer, don't you?
Yeah, and literally more blood comes out and they just descend into a bloody pulp. So that was great. The boy actually watched over my shoulder for that one, and he wants to have a go at that. So I'll report back once he's had a trial of that.
And that was called again?
Did
you mention what it was called?
Oh, it's gone out of my head now.
Vermintide 2.
That's it, Vermintide.
Yes. It's on Xbox Game Pass. I actually downloaded it as well. I had a quick go on it, and I told you about it. It's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but in 3D. I reckon. I don't know how in depth it's going to be. I've already played like the training level, a natural, really. But yeah,
I've got high hopes of it, to be honest. I think it's definitely got places to go. But I know, I was impressed with the authenticity of it. But then again, as I say, it's in conjunction with Games Workshop. They've overseen
and
it quite closely.
Sat in front of a shelf covered in Games Workshop miniatures.
I am. For those who are listening on podcast and I haven't tuned into our YouTube, when I stream this, I'm sat in front of a bookcase that's literally every shelf has got covered in little models, Warhammer 40k models, which the boy was into, and that's why he's not been on the Xbox this week, because he's finishing his army. He's doing a bit of modelling and a bit of painting.
Giving you a chance to get on there.
That's why I've been able to play this week. So those are the couple that I've been into, and I've done a bit of Skyrim as well, whereby I turn into a werewolf and again rip people apart and eat their hearts.
You're mean.
Which is my want, as you know.
Yeah, I just play Fall Guys and fall off things a lot. I get stressed when I throw eggs out of people's nests. I'm so toxic. Why am I like this?
I know. It's like you're bad. I'm bad cop and you're good cop. That's the way it is, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, let's go on with the news. Quick news.
Should we do the quick news? That kind of news that we don't really want to talk about, but we feel it's worth a mention.
That's the one.
Okay. Nintendo have announced a Cat Mario and Cat Peach that you can pre-order. Unfortunately, it is only in a double pack, which is a little bit unfortunate because I only want the Cat Mario.
Of course you do.
Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer and New Game Plus update will arrive on October 16th. I've not played it myself. It's meant to be a pretty good game on the PS4, and it's going to get multiplayer now. This one's important.
I need to announce this one.
Go on.
Fall Guys Season 2 starts October the 8th.
Yes, and if you are still not level 40 yet, you can get double XP until Season 2 starts. We don't know what time it starts on Season 8, but I'm planning Season 8 on the 8th, but I'm planning to do a very long stream once it does start. And that's the quick news. But we've also got Xbox Games with Gold have been announced for next month. There's nothing really here that I care anything about. We have got available for the whole month of October. We got Slay Away Camp, which is kind of like you're the killer of a camp.
It's like a horror puzzle game.
Yeah, they've gone for kind of the whole Halloween-y theme. So very blocky. First till the 31st.
Yeah.
From October 16th to November 15th, we got Maid of Sker,
which is based on Welsh folklore. I don't know a lot about Welsh folklore, but looks a bit weird.
This is true. From the 1st to the 15th, we got an Xbox original game, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. And we've also got Costume Quest, which is the 16th to the 31st. I'm not sure I'm going to download any of these games.
No?
No. Sphinx, maybe, but I know they've just...
that's the one I picked out that I would definitely go for. Give that a bash.
They have just re-released this on other platforms, I think, with slightly updated graphics. But, yeah, it's the only one that's really even remotely of any interest to me. But
PlayStation Plus?
We've also got PlayStation Plus games for the month of October. And unlike Xbox, these are available for the whole month of October. There is only 2 games.
Unfortunately.
oh, we're playing sound. Okay. We have got Need for Speed Payback, which is a racy car game. Need for Speed franchise.
Well, the best you can say about this is similar to one of the reviews. inoffensively average.
And we've also got Vampire, which is spelt totally weird. Which has actually been heavily updated, and I think that will be a better choice really than Need for Speed Payback. Although people have said this is from 2018, so it's been updated, but they've said it contains a lot of unnecessary combat. Neither are particularly exciting. No,
I'm getting a 3 out of 10 rating generally online.
Yeah, neither of them are particularly there for like. I'm not going to probably bother. I didn't bother last month with the PlayStation Plus games either.
Underwhelming.
I know, right? Okay, so that's like the quick news. Should we go into the main stories?
Arrests. That's what is happening.
Yes,
arrests.
There has been arrests.
So who are Executor, Bestie?
Team Executor is one of the world's most notorious video game piracy groups, and members have been arrested.
So there's about a dozen or so developers and web designers who apparently are spread all over the globe, and they look for let's say a chink in the armor of consoles and so on, so they can basically issue hardware and software which is pirated to allow you to hack your console.
And they've done it to everyone: Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. But the United States Department of Justice revealed that Mark Lauren, a 48-year-old French national, and Gary Bowser, who'd have thought?
Bowser.
Bowser, the typical villain.
Fabulous.
A 51-year-old Canadian national were caught in September and now face 11 felony counts each. Lauren and Bowser were leaders of Team Execute. The agency also charged... some Chinese person.
Yeah, there's an additional...
Yeah, a 35-year-old from China, Mr. Chen.
Yeah.
So they've actually been arrested, and they've got quite a bit of problem now. They need some good lawyers.
They really do.
Yeah, and this follows on from late last week, when Nintendo actually won a $2 million lawsuit against a Switch piracy that was at a store that was actually selling the Team Execute's products. Yeah,
Uber chips.
Yes. So...
Although this is not a lot of money on the scale of this. $2 million is small change, to be fair. But I think it sets the precedent.
It's like they probably may not even get given that money. But when you think this store is probably owned by Joe Blogs kind of thing. You know, if I owned a store and all of a sudden I lost a lawsuit for $2 million, that would be a big deal to me. It's not a big deal to Nintendo.
No.
But they've also claimed all the stock. They own all of it now, and it all has to be destroyed on site. So that's just a kind of a lesson. Don't be naughty.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing. It's sort of like, to Nintendo, this is small potatoes, but I think it's kind of like... It's a precedent, and it's a warning.
Yeah, I mean...
Because like you say, on the scale of the store, this is phenomenal. And they'll lose their house. They'll lose the shirt on the back. They'll lose everything they own.
I mean, Nintendo, very protective of their intellectual properties. I mean, it was like last year, I believe it was, where they closed down one of the sites that was actually hosting ROMs of theirs. And this really was a site just owned by like a middle-aged couple. And again, they got sued for something like it was in the millions again. It was something like 15,000 per ROM, and there was like hundreds of ROMs on there. So yeah, Nintendo do take these things seriously.
Well, yes, I think it's fair to say that they're protective.
Yes, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
I think it will. I think this is going to be ongoing, and we'll just keep an eye on that for the future. So come back here later and we'll update you on what goes on with this.
They wouldn't have arrested him unless they had a very strong case.
Well, the Department of Justice really wants something cast in iron before they raise counts. And the fact that there's 11 felony counts says a lot, really. They've found enough evidence to throw everything at them.
Yeah.
Okay, so... first PS5 hands-on videos to show off the hardware and the games.
Yes.
That's what we've seen this week, and that's kind of quite a big story.
Yep. So we're on the Verge website here, and Sony has invited a number of Japanese publications and YouTubers to get a closer look at the PlayStation 5. It's the first time we've seen PS5 hardware outside of leaked images from Taiwan's National Communication Commission. And there's a lovely picture of someone playing Godfall on the PS5.
Now, I think it looks quite big, to be honest.
It is the biggest console ever produced.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting, because I originally saw it and I thought, hold on, that's a fairly decent size. And they've got it in this video, they've got it propped up, haven't they? They've got it on the stand, vertical. Yeah. And you're going to have to find a bit of space for that. If you're a bit minimalist, it's like, where are you going to put that?
They're not small.
It's a decent size.
They're not small at all. Yeah, so obviously Sony have been doing this under very controlled situation, like inviting people in, letting them play the games. So there's still no like footage of the user interface at all for the PS5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a behemoth.
It's also
it doesn't even fit into this one screenshot. Look at it.
No, it's not clear how the external storage is going to work. Although I notice along one edge they've got a tiny little silver bolt that's visible. So whether that's part of how this is going to work, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, because unlike the Xbox Series X, where you got proprietary memory upgrades that you just plug into the back.
These takes generic.
PS5 will take it needs to be like a very high grade, like one of the newer M.2s, I believe they are, hard drives.
Yeah.
Which are very easy to install because I put them into my own PC and they do just slot in and push down. But obviously there's a picture of this bolt that sort of cropped up that people think maybe that's like a latch that'll open up. Because you've got to bear in mind, some people that are going to be trying to put the expandable memories in won't have much clue of what they're doing. So it's going to have to be pretty straightforward.
I'm always surprised at how many people are clueless.
It's just that thing, isn't it?
I think I'm just a techie girl. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But on the flip side to what Sony done, because obviously Sony's invited people to come along to see the PS5, Microsoft has gone the totally opposite route with the Xbox Series X, and they have actually just been sending them to publications, YouTubers and things.
And I'm outraged, really.
You're outraged because you haven't got one.
They didn't send me one.
I know, right? We got like 13 subscribers. We should definitely get one.
Actually, we've got a new one, but I'll shout her out later.
Oh, okay.
31.
30, wow. So yeah, so that's like at the moment though with the Xbox, the flip side, even though they've sent them out, there's not been anything really shown of next gen games, but they're more focusing on these are the last gen games being played on here, and even though they're not even optimized for Xbox Series X, they're still getting like frame rate boosts and everything. So it really is like it really is with the Xbox Series X that the day you get that, there is a lot of games available for it, and we're still very much unknown about how backwardly compatible games work with the PS5.
That was what I was going to say, actually. I think, very nice to see this. It looks very sleek, and it's okay. There's various different things that we can talk about. No UI, where's the external storage going to go, how that's going to work. But for me, the more interesting question is going to be backwards compatibility, and what's the support level going to be like. I think your true gamers, that's the question they want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm still in an Xbox camp now. I think out of these two, I would rather get the Xbox first because...
Ooh, goodness me. Bestie, you're a Nintendo boy. What are you talking about?
Come on, there's no new Nintendo. That's why. But just from what they've revealed so far, I mean, neither of these consoles have any day one games coming out that I'm interested in. No. I think we got the Medium on Xbox, which is only a timed exclusive anyway, and Tetris Effect, I believe, as well. And on the PlayStation, we've got Spiderman and Demon Souls, which I'm not that interested in. So the fact that I can go back and know that I can take my copy of Skyrim and put it into the Xbox Series X and see how much better it looks and plays, it's kind of what I want. I mean, don't you remember me saying that ages ago? well, it's going to be which one of these games consoles will make my Skyrim look better.
Yeah, I did see some like experimental footage of Skyrim, and I forget where I've seen it, but I was circling around on the dark fringes of the internet, and I saw some that looked really, really very good. And I was like, if this is what Xbox is, next generation is going to look like, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, it would be nice because obviously now Microsoft owns Bethesda and stuff. It would be really nice if they remaster like all the Elder Scrolls games. Including Arena and Daggerfall. Just bring them all up to like a sort of newer standard, just so everyone can play them and be like, ooh. And add horses to Morrowind.
Add horses, yeah. The thing about Morrowind, which I loved playing Morrowind and literally hundreds of hours in that, and did so much there. But one of the things that is so annoying about that is there is no fast travel and there are no horses. And
you got to use signposts.
Yeah.
There's no quest markers.
Yeah, exactly. It really does take up such amount of time. To me, it just takes the edge off the joy of it, to be honest, even though it's a great game.
So I think that's it then. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Steve.
Oi, Steve.
Alex.
Steve, get over here. Get over here. You're in Minecraft. You're in Minecraft? You're in Super Smash, sorry. Yes. Steve was announced as the next DLC fighter for Super Smash Brothers. And that's just crazy.
I know.
It's not in any way a character that you would think would end up in a fighting game.
To be honest, it'd be the lack of elbows and knees that would give this one away, to be honest.
just blocky.
And they've got 3 skins each.
Well, there's more because you've got Steve and Alex. You've also got Enderman, and you've got a zombie as well. Just crazy. Yeah. But the best thing is you've never played Smash, have you?
No, I haven't.
Kirby has an ability where he inhales enemies and takes on their abilities. And
like me.
Minecraft Kirby is just awesome. Because normally he's round, but now he's just a cube.
Honest to goodness, I looked at the skins for this and I was like, who knew? Who thought this would ever happen? But anyway, it is happening on October the 13th.
Well,
on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, October 13th it comes out. I don't actually have the Fighter Pass 2, so. But the thing is, I've not even unlocked all the fighters yet in Smash.
Really?
When this pass finishes, there's going to be nearly 90 fighters in the game. I mean, that's a lot of... And then there's so many unique fighters as well. You can buy characters individually if you want to. Or it's about 20 something pound for the actual pass, which has got 6 fighters in.
Okay.
Yeah, but the amount of stuff they had to do to get this to work. I don't know if you saw the reveal trailer when he was talking about...
Yes, actually in Japanese with subtitles. Yes, I did watch that. It was very interesting to me because he was from his own home and he was talking about, the fact that
one of his homes.
It was difficult. Yeah, allegedly. And I watched that all the way through and I was just kind of mesmerised by it, I have to be honest.
Well, it was just kind of like, you could tell he wasn't that into this character. No. But Nintendo had basically gone, you're doing Steve. And one of the things he sort of said, do they think these things just happen by magic? But apparently they've had to go, because obviously I haven't watched the actual presentation they did where they went into the moveset and everything, because that was like about 40-minute in-depth look at the character. But they've actually had to go back to every single stage in Super Smash Brothers to get it to work with Steve, because he can build blocks.
Yeah.
And you can craft weapons and you can upgrade your weapons with other...
They did go over this quite intensively on the trailer.
And it's like...
just sat there mesmerised, frankly.
Whereas, I mean, I think this is one of the things where Smash just is another level fighting game. Whereas most games, if they'd put Steve in, it would have just been his Steve and he would just run around and do some fighting. Whereas Smash have made it so he is Minecraft in there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they've just like ported it in.
It's like this. We need to get the feel of Minecraft in Smash Brothers, and that's what they've done.
It's kind of weird.
And it's just
it's
like
a mashup.
The thing is, it's like, where do they go from here?
That's a very good question.
Minecraft is one of the most popular franchises out there at the moment.
Oh man,
it's the
iconic.
first Microsoft game that's actually sold over 1 million copies in Japan. So it's got a massive Western audience. It's got a massive Japanese audience. I don't think the next person's going to be able to live up to the hype.
Not really.
Who could it possibly be? I know there's rumours of like the Master Chief from Halo. Put him in there. Or Doom Guy or...
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, where do they go from here?
Tough question. We shall see, I guess. We shall see.
Because there's still another 4 fighters to be announced.
Absolutely.
But also, we also got some costumes for the Mii fighters announced with it as well. So we've also got a creeper from Minecraft. Bomberman. And Travis Touchdown. Now,
what?
I was adamant saying Travis Touchdown would be in Smash. Even before the start of the event, when I was doing my live stream, I said it's probably not going to be Travis Touchdown because No More Heroes 3 has been delayed, but I reckon it will be that when No More Heroes comes out. But now he's just a costume. But is that the ultimate bluff, do you think? Do you think they're just like joking? Know. Oh, he's not going to be in it now. And then they're going to be like, haha, he's here.
Possibly.
Because,
do you know what? Given this year, I wouldn't say no on anything. I wouldn't put it past it because it's just been so strange. I think, like we said last week, this is like a real changing point for gaming. We're seeing all sorts of stuff.
I mean, the weird thing about Suda is he's got a very sort of odd sense of humour. It was a couple of months ago when he was doing a bit, can't remember what presentation it was. It was at some event where they were talking about games and he was actually there. He was sat with No More Heroes 3 playing behind him, but he was sat right in the middle so you couldn't actually see anything.
Oh my God.
So he's just like sat in the middle, like just little bits of gameplay behind him. It's like, yes. So who knows? Right. It might happen. It might happen.
It might.
Travis still might be there. Okay, and this next story is just blows my mind. It's
all about the criminals. And I personally, I think this is the Spider-Man franchise all over, really. This is where it's at.
Now,
so can I
go for it.
Okay, so the Spider-Man remastered creative director has got death threats after making a change to the Peter Parker face. So this would fall into the category of toxic fanaticism, I think. So so obviously there was a replacement of the actor for this. It went from John Bugniak to Ben Jordan, and they made what would amounted to a relatively small tweak of the face. It actually looks like the same guy, only a little bit older, to be honest.
They've gone the other way. They've gone the other way. The older one is the original. The younger one is the...
So it just looks like a different age group. To me, I was just like, well, it's not, ridiculous. But it's also upgraded. Remember, it's been remastered. But anyway, so this death threat... Okay, it wasn't to be sniffed at, right? It was, we will hunt you down and find you. You fix this now! ! It's like someone is super, super angry. I don't even know what to say about that.
I don't understand how you'd get so worked up about it. Why? What difference does it make?
But it's just the face, though. That's what gets me. It's literally just the face.
And
the thing is, it is. I mean, to me, it's just like it's not even that big a change. It just looks like it's like age. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that kind of I've heard. It's because they've got a proper sequel plan for this. They wanted to go back, make the character look younger. So that in the sequel, they've got somewhere to go rather than ending up with like a middle-aged Spider-Man.
Right, and apart from that,
But
Spider-Man is
even
supposed to
so,
be young anyway, isn't he? I mean,
even
let's be
so,
honest.
but
So
yeah,
I would have thought that'd be even more authentic. But this is crazy. This is next
yeah.
level
I mean, he did
fandom
reply to that,
nonsense.
to all these tweets, and he said, "To our Spidey fans, I totally appreciate your passion, but sending me threatening notes that you will hunt you down and we will find you, you fix this now, isn't cool. With what's happening in the world today, let's be a force for good and be respectful for each other. Thank you."
I think that was very polite because
Yeah,
no, I would have said, no, dude, I will find you. I will hunt you down. I will take you out.
yeah, but
You
you're
and
toxic.
going to... Actually, that happened once. I was working a job in a phone shop and I was answering the phones, and this woman phoned to do some marketing, and I just said, I'm really, really busy. So she phoned back. I said, look, I'm not interested. I'm really busy. Can you just leave us alone? And I don't know what happened. She must have gone to her supervisor, but her supervisor phoned me back to say I'd been rude to her. And it was one of those days. So I said, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I will hunt you down. I will kill you and your entire family.
You're what's wrong with the world.
I know, I am. I know. I was having a bad day. So I do, on one hand, I understand.
I'm pleased we're not in the same room doing this podcast.
That's right. On one hand, I feel rage, but on the other hand, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm just going to give a little bit of advice to people. If you feel that strongly about Spider-Man's face being changed, then play it on the PlayStation 4 where the original is. If you don't care, play it on the PlayStation 5 where the new face is. Simple.
But they have got history. Remember, Laura Bailey had threats as well.
Oh, it's just the internet, isn't it? It's awful.
It seems to be this particular. It seems to be Spider-Man. He brings out all the rage.
People are just toxic. They just expect the world to give them what they want.
People are very entitled, aren't they?
They are, and that brings us nicely onto this next story.
Very nicely.
Nintendo are getting sued once again for the Joy-Con drift, but this time it is being sued by a child.
For drum roll, how much is it?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So, Luz Sanchez and her son, who say that Nintendo hasn't done enough to fix an issue that it's well aware of. Sanchez explains that the family console was purchased in December 2018, with Joy-Con drift trouble starting to appear within a month. Still in warranty, take it back. Within a year, the Joy-Con drift became so pronounced that the controllers became inoperable for general gameplay use. The complainant says a second set of Joy-Con controllers were purchased, but 7 months later, they faced the same issue. Now, I appreciate that is going to be annoying. You can't play your game. It's going to affect you emotionally, and you're going to need therapy. You're going to have so much compensation that they're actually suing Nintendo for the alleged sum of $5 million.
$5 million in damages for controllers that went a bit off.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, bear in mind, they're what, $70 to buy a pair of controllers?
Yeah, and also what we got to remember is they're saying they bought this in December 2018. So they've had it almost 2 years now, and yet they filed this lawsuit within 2 weeks of the previous lawsuit being filed by the French Department of Justice. So I'm looking at this, I'm going, did this make you finally decide how traumatized you were by Joy-Con drift? Is that what happened?
They've obviously only just got out of therapy, and they're only just feeling strong enough to push on with the lawsuit.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's tough at the top.
It's a bit excessive.
How old is this kid? Do we know?
10.
He's 10.
He's 10.
Right.
It says in the title, by a 10-year-old
this,
child.
Right.
Yeah, and like I say, if they started feeling the drift started within the first few months, then it's still in warranty. Why couldn't they just go, look, this isn't working? It would have been replaced. And I know in America they were just replacing Joy-Cons that had the drift or fixing them. Because they weren't doing that in all parts of the world, but in America they were. So
we have mentioned before that we feel the Americans are quite litigious. So I feel like that the French opened the door, and this mama and her little boy kind of marched on through.
Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't the first lawsuit though that's been brought against Nintendo. There was one in going on in America, and they've actually recently the law firm that are actually what's the word, getting litigation against Nintendo have recently emailed people that had got in contact before, because they asked for people to contact them to let them know who had Joy-Con drift.
All right, so they're trying to mount a class
They want
action.
like a 30 second to a minute videos of saying how it's affected people, because Nintendo are apparently denying that it's a problem and hasn't interfered with and hasn't caused anyone any what's the word I'm looking for, any inconvenience. That's what the law firm said in their email to people.
I think that's a bit disingenuous. I mean, it is causing inconvenience, but whether it's worth $5 million in damages or not, I have my doubts.
I don't think that's going to be the $5 million one. This is just two people, the one person who's seen all this stuff going on and is just like, I can make a buck out of this. Let's give it a go.
I think Better Call Saul. That's what went through their head.
What law firm would take that on for $5 million? It's just,
Saul would.
I mean, maybe if the Joy-Con had exploded and the kid had lost some fingers, maybe $5 million would be justified.
Oh, fuck it.
But I mean, seriously though, it would, wouldn't it?
Well, I think
that's the kind of suffering that it would be if the Nintendo had a
I think you get $5 million for an eye.
Exactly. So the Joy-Con would have to explode and the button
taking
an eye out. It's all fun and games if someone loses an eye.
Are we still falling in the family-friendly parameters of our podcast now?
We are still in the family-friendly parameters.
Just squeaking it in. Okay. We hope this kid's all right and not too traumatized. And we definitely hope he hasn't lost an eye or anything.
And we also hope that he sticks with Nintendo and doesn't go off to Microsoft or Sony. I've just closed the wrong window down. Close the next story down, not this story, because they weren't in order, were they?
Well, the next story is Microsoft Flight Simulator VR beta.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, the game that I said would be amazing in VR, is getting a beta version of VR. And
so I watched the developer Q&A on Twitch where they were trailing this. So there's a few different things that they announced, but this was the biggest one at the beginning. So they're saying this is going to get started in October. If not, then it'll be early November. And you can sign up for this on Microsoft's Insider program. So that is on flightsimulator.com.
Yeah.
So you have to have the Windows Mixed Reality headset. But they are looking for feedback, because one of the things that apparently was on their number one wish list was to bring it to VR, but they said we want feedback first and foremost before we go live with it. So they are looking for large numbers of beta testers.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be an absolutely amazing game in VR. I mean, it already looks good on the TV. You're going to need some seriously powerful hardware though to run it nicely in VR. Because obviously you're rendering to the game twice in each eye. It's not, and it's already like a tough game to render. So yeah, so Flight Simulator is coming to VR, which if I had a powerful PC and a VR headset, I would love to try, but I don't.
I think it would be amazing. And I think it only is going to get better, because on the same developer Q&A, they announced there's going to be shared cockpits, seasons as updates, and also they've got a world update coming next month, and that is an update of the US.
Yes.
So there's lots and lots coming to this. It's good. I think this is going to be massive. I think it's just going to grow and grow.
The first update they had a few weeks ago was Japan, so they've updated that. Yeah, what I hope is that the VR goes really, really, really well, and Microsoft actually starts going, maybe we should release some VR for the Xbox Series X, because I've got like the PlayStation VR, and obviously we know Sony are going to be doing something next gen with a new VR headset, but I would like...
I do want to play this, so it's got to come to Xbox. And I should just say, I have actually flown a plane, and when I looked at the footage that you'd sent me and stuff that I'd found online, it was really, really authentic. And I've also seen a pilot review it and saying this is incredibly true to life. And for me, when I went for my flying lesson, it was a twin engine, small cockpit, just, two pilots. And I had to do like a course beforehand on what each of the dials mean, and how to take off and land and stuff. And yeah, I was very, very impressed actually with what I saw in the cockpit, and how it seems to handle. So yeah, I'd be excited to play this.
When you do night flying in it, you have to use the cockpit
flyby
view.
instruments.
You can't, because obviously it's just dark. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's meant to be coming to Xbox Series X at some point. I would love it if they turned around and announced it was a launch title.
I would love that.
Not that I'm going to be able to get an Xbox Series X on launch, but I have a plan.
Do you?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
It's sold out everywhere, but I'm figuring supermarkets might get a couple in.
I think so. I think we need to troll down Tesco Extra at like 1 a.m.
No, they're not 24 hours at the moment. They're closing. Right. They're closing. They open at 6 a.m. So I'm gonna see if I can get one.
I'll come with you. Socially distanced with masks on.
Socially distanced with masks with a camcorder, so we can make.
To be fair, we always socially distanced because you're a boy.
And you're a girl.
Gross.
Smelly girl. Ew.
Filthy.
I think that's it for the news.
It is. I've got a very quick shout out actually. Our very latest subscriber, Alice, who is a big Sims player.
Would that be Kernda Sims by any chance? He's in the chat.
I think it is.
I have been reading them.
Yeah. So hello to Alice. Thank you for getting in touch and saying hi. Thank you for subscribing. Hope you bring us some more questions in the future. But yeah, this is your official shout out to Alice.
Welcome. That's it.
Have you got any questions?
Have I got any questions? I haven't actually bothered to check this week because no one ever writes questions. Right, I'll just get onto that Twitter.
Yeah, get on that there.
I'll get on that their Twitter.
In the meantime,
and while I'm on that their Twitter, I'll be searching for Nintendo Live.
Yeah.
Not Nintendo.
And you can
Ninqueso.
find me on Twitter as gamergirl_Miss_Brie, GMRGRL_Miss_Brie, MISSBRIE. If you come onto Twitter and have a shout at me, I'll always shout back in a quite nice, friendly sort of way.
No one wants to talk to us.
Where can they find you on social media?
They can find me everywhere on social media. I am on Facebook as ElGranQueso74, where I stream pretty much daily now, and it seems to be Fall Guys an awful lot. I am also on Twitch, where I stream every so often, where I tend to play like Skyrim and things on Twitch, and that is Ninqueso. You can also find me on Twitter, queso_cheeselets, and I think that's probably all the ones I want to push.
It's time for you to do the Batman thing.
It is time.
Take a deep breath.
Will the 10-year-old boy ever get over the trauma of his JoyCons not working? Will his mum get $5 million and rejoice? Find out the questions to these answers next time. Same cheesy time, same cheesy channel.
Actual stories may vary. We need to get the jingle.
We do. We need a little jingle then, like a dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Maybe we should just plagiarise Batman jingle.
We'll speak to the jingle man. That's it for today.
That is it.
Say good night, bestie.
Good night, bestie. What am I doing? We're still here. Right, we're going. Bye.